hello DCO Nation, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chris, I'm with Dead Calm Outdoors, and this is a video that has been 7 months in the making. I am finally going to do a review of the Hoodoo Impulse 120 that I bought back in May. Guys, I waited this long to kind of let the honeymoon phase of the kayak kind of wear off, and also to let you know that I am no longer on the pro staff for Hoodoo Sports. So I wanted to make sure that this was a completely unbiased review and to let you guys know the pros and cons of the Hoodoo Impulse 120. So guys, let's get into it. Here we go. All right, y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this kayak. I'm not gonna go over every aspect of this kayak. I wanna hit the highlights of the boat. So we're gonna start right up here in the front. Obviously it's got a handle. Guys, I'm not gonna go over this. If your kayak doesn't have a handle, talk to your manufacturer, but it's a good sturdy handle. Here's the first thing. So the first major thing that you look at this kayak, and it's one of the major features, is this big front storage. So it's got a couple of clips here and it opens right up. Guys, you can see there's a little bit of debris in here because it's been sitting for about a month, but this is a big, nice front storage, and it does have a drain. Some of the guys that I have seen online, they have turned this into a live well. They have actually put ice in here and put their catch in here. The one thing that I don't like, so this is the first con of the boat, this hatch is not waterproof. So when I clean this up at the end of the day and hose this thing down, I get water inside of this hatch. Now, I have had some waves come over the front bow, and it's been pretty dry. I've had a little bit of water in it, but if I put a hose in here, it does run right through here and get down into here. For the most part, it's waterproof, but water still gets in this hatch. If you want to waterproof it, you can put some waterproofing right in here, sets down, and you'll be good to go, and it's a pretty easy fix. But really, I think Hoodoo ought to waterproof this front hatch because people do put clothes, rain suits, stuff like that in here. But what I do is I put it in a dry bag and throw it up in here, and then it'll stay dry. Okay, so that's kind of the first con of the boat, but I love the big front hatch. I utilize it all the time for things that really I don't need on every fishing trip, like my rain suit that sets up in here. So as I'm kind of working back, here's the first rail system. So there's two rails right here, and you can see I've got a little camera mount on here. One thing that I like about the rail system is it's situated forward on the kayak. So I can have something right here, like my fish finder. Over here, you can see it's on the front half of that. When I'm paddling, I am not hitting anything on this rail system. If these rails were back further, I couldn't have anything sitting on the front part of these rails, or I would hit it as I was paddling. So this I do like. I like where they put the rail system on the kayak. There are 4 rod holders, 2 on each side. Love that, and I love the front ones. As you guys watch my videos, you guys know when I catch a fish, I'll slide my rod into there to hold it as I'm unhooking, unnetting, and doing whatever to handle these fish. So I do like the positions of the rod holders. Those things are fantastic. So let's go ahead and let's get into the meat of this kayak. So I went with a pedal drive. Excuse me. I'm still fighting a little bit of a cough from the flu. So if I cough, I apologize. So I went with a pedal drive. They do make a fin drive also. If you get the fin drive, you will not get this pod system. This pod system is only with the pedals, and it's just a couple of little bolts. You can actually lift that thing out, and I clean it every once in a while. So my second con is the design of how you tighten down this pedal drive. So this is pretty standard with every pedal drive. So you got to mount here, and you got to mount here with the actual pedal. Here's what I don't like. You have to screw this thing down to lock it into place, okay? So you can see I'm pulling these out here and here. This is the first thing that is tightened all the way down, and then I come all the way back up. Now, these two screws here are not standard if they come with Hoodoo, okay? You can see I had to make a tether system for these screws. So here are the thumb screws that come with the pedal drive. And I have lost several of these. So when I'm on the water and I drop my pedal drive in, you have to put these little screws in and then tighten them into place, okay? I have actually went to put these in, I lost them, and right on down into the water. Again, right on down into the water, and they are gone. I bought an extra bag of these. I've got 15 of them in my shop, and I always keep extras in my storage here, because if I lose both of these, this thing will not get you back. It will pop out of place. You have to screw this in tight to hold this thing into place to be able to operate it. This is probably the biggest con of the boat that I do not like. I think Hoodoo has to go back in and redesign their pedal drive's secure system. I think almost snaps down onto this pod would probably be better. Something that's permanent, that snaps into place instead of two screws. And you can see I've made this tether system that now if I drop it, they're staying on the boat. Okay, so second biggest con, and probably the biggest con, is the screw system for the drive. Okay, I like the pedal drive. I've had no issues with the pedal drive. I have not maintained the pedal drive. It has been 7 months outside of hosing this thing off after each time I come off the water. I have not done anything to it. It's still smooth. I don't really hear any gears grinding or anything. I haven't replaced the the propeller. That is still the original propeller. You can see that I have hit some oyster. It's holding up just fine. So no issue with the drive itself. The only thing I don't like are these screws. So working our way back, a hatch right by the seat. Love this hatch. This thing, again, if you guys watch the videos, I am in and out of this thing all the time. It is completely waterproof. It's a half a turn and you lift, and this thing is completely waterproof. I love this hatch. I put in everything from my pliers to my fish grips to anything that I need, you know, constantly during my fishing trip. Love this hatch. Very well thought out, nice down half turn, and this thing is completely waterproof. I have had water splash up out of here all down through here, and this stays nice and dry. Love it. Second, the seat. The seat I like. You can see I added a little bit of foam to the backing, but the one thing that I like about the seat is it's adjustable. It has 3 adjustment heights. So this one right here is the lowest height, and it'll put you almost down on the floor of the boat. The second height is probably about to right here, and then this is the highest height right here. So I love the adjustment of the seat. It's a comfortable seat, no real issues. You can adjust it forward and backwards, you know, to reach your pedals. You just loosen these little M6 screws here and you can slide this thing back and forth. To adjust the seat, you have to loosen all 4 of these screws, and then you can move the seat up and down, and then you tighten them back up. No issues with the seat at all. I like it. Again, good quality seat. So before we move to the back of the kayak, let's talk about stability. I can stand up and sight fish out of this with no problem. It is stable. I have not turned this over, knock on wood. I have not flipped it. So, you know, it is very, very stable. And with this pedal drive being in the middle and the weight of this pedal drive, it seems to stabilize the boat even more because of the weight. So I really like that aspect also. Very stable. You can stand up, you can sight fish out of this thing without any problem whatsoever. As we move our way back, this is the cord that lowers your rudder system. And if I can pull it back up, there we go, and I pull it back up. So that is the cord that raises and lowers your rudder system. No issues with it. It's just a paracord. It's good. Here's the rudder. We can talk about turn radius. The turn radius is okay. It's not a tight turn. It's not the big wide turn. I would say it's a pretty average turn radius for a 12-foot kayak. No issues with it. This is a standard rudder. Again, I've not had to really do anything to the rudder except for adjust the little cords here. You can see how loose this one is, and there's a lot of slop in play. So I'll just need to adjust these every once in a while. Here is the handle for the rudder. Nice handle, no worries. It's good, sturdy. Haven't had any issues with the rudder steering. So moving back up towards the seat, you probably all have seen this hatch. So this hatch, let me move this seat out of the way. This hatch is really not accessible when you're fishing. The only thing that I have in here is my Aqua battery for my fish finder. It is for you to access the hull of the kayak. Again, it is waterproof. No issues there. I've, again, had water slosh up over the side that's come up from the pedal and moved back into here, and it's completely waterproof. But you can't really store anything in here, and it's not accessible when you're out on the water. You just can't reach back and get back out into here. So it's more for your fish finder battery, or maybe something that, you know, you would never really need to get into. There's a little bitty storage here. As you move back into the tank well, it's a nice big tank well. This is where I keep my crate and some fishing rods. Nice, big. The only thing that I don't like is where they put the drain plugs. This area right here is lower, and if water gets into the tank well, it sets into here, but it doesn't drain through here. Hoodoo should have moved their drain plugs to here and had this drain into the lowest spot. So now I've got to take a sponge and sponge out the excess water that holds into this area. So usually I'll put some kind of a my terminal tackle box here. I'll pull this little bungee up and it'll lock it right into place. So again, these I feel should have been here and not on the higher spots. Good tank well, again, bungee system, 2 more rails for safety flags, lights, anything that you may want to put back into here. This right here is just access to the steering cables and again to the inside of the kayak hull. Drain plug here. This is where you can put some accessories, maybe some outriggers, carts, extra accessories. This is the paddle holder. It's good there. A couple of nice handles here. Again, some molded in little tackle trays. Guys, that's really about it, and that's really what I wanted to cover. Okay, so let's go back over the pros and cons of this kayak real quick. So again, let's go over the cons first. So the front hatch is not waterproof. Any gear that you put in here, make sure that you put it into a dry bag. Working my way back, con number 2, and probably the biggest one that I think Hoodoo needs to revisit and re-engineer, are those set screws to tighten down the front part of the pedal drive. You know, I've already lost 4 or 5 of those screws. I've had to get an extra bag on Amazon, and I think I have like 15 of them in a little bag, and I always keep 3 or 4 extra in my little front storage right here, just in case I drop them in the water. So the pros of this is the stability of this kayak is fantastic. I've stood up, I've sight fished. It's a stable boat, 12 foot, 33 inches wide. It is not a problem whatsoever. I love the adjustable seat, you know, the 3 levels, so pretty much right down onto the bottom, kind of a middle, and then a high position if you want to stand up, make it easier to kind of pop up and sight fish. And third is the storage. Nice big storage in the front, and this storage right here, right by the seat, which I just absolutely love, and it is waterproof. And then the tank well in the back, nice big tank well. I've got room for my crate and any other boxes that I may want. So guys, that is the pros and cons of the kayak. I have went through everything. So my grade for this is an 8 out of 10. I think this is a fantastic kayak. This thing will retail you on the site at about $1,600, and that includes the pedal drive. I'm not exactly sure if you want the fin drive what that costs, but it's going to run you right at about $1,600. And guys, for the money, this thing is absolutely fantastic. And now I can say I am not affiliated with Hoodoo, so I would absolutely recommend this kayak. So guys, if you're on the market for a pedal kayak, look at the Hoodoo Impulse 120. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Subscribe to the channel. I don't do a lot of these reviews or how-tos very often, but guys, subscribe, like, share, get it out there. I'm really trying to grow the channel this year. I would love to get up to 3,000 subscribers, which will basically double my subscribers by the end of the year. So guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you out on the water. You have a great day.